Earth has one perfect, peaceful moon, but Mars, the god of war, has two, and they are literally named Fear and Terror. Meet Phobos and Deimos. They aren't beautiful spheres, they look like giant battered potatoes floating in deep space. But the craziest part isn't how they look, it's how their story ends. Right now, one of these moons is falling out of the sky, doomed to be ripped apart by Mars and turned into a massive ring. The other moon is drifting away, destined to be lost in the dark forever. Welcome to BBS. Today, we're exploring the strange, tragic secrets of Mars's two doomed moons. When you picture a moon, you imagine a bright, perfect sphere. But Mars's moons, Phobos and Deimos, look like giant dark potatoes floating in space. Why? Because they are incredibly tiny. Earth's moon is over 2,100 miles wide, but Phobos is only about 14 miles or 22 kilometers across, roughly the size of a single city. Deimos is even smaller. Their tiny size means dangerously weak gravity. If you weigh 150 pounds on Earth, you would weigh as much as a small lemon on Deimos. The gravity is so weak that if you pedaled a bicycle at just 12 miles per hour, you would launch yourself off the moon and float into deep space forever. But these tiny rocks have a violently dark history. Phobos has a massive, terrifying scar called the Stipney crater. An ancient asteroid once slammed into it with so much force that it almost shattered the little moon to dust.
Where did these strange moons come from? Even top scientists are still debating two main theories. Theory 1, the kidnapped asteroids. For decades, experts believed Mars used its gravity to capture two stray rocks from the nearby asteroid belt. Their dark, battered shapes definitely look like asteroids, but there is a huge loophole. Their orbits around Mars are way too perfectly circular for a random capture. Theory 2, the giant impact. Modern computer simulations tell a much more violent story. Billions of years ago, a massive object may have smashed into Mars. The massive explosion blasted debris into space, forming a giant ring around the planet. Over time, that dust clumped together to create Phobos and Deimos. This means they might actually be broken pieces of Mars itself. Very soon, we will finally know the truth. Japan's space agency is sending the MMX mission to land on Phobos, grab a soil sample, and bring it right back to Earth. Now let's talk about the larger moon, Phobos. It is the most unique moon in our entire solar system. Why? Because it orbits incredibly close to Mars, just 3,700 miles, 6,000 kilometers above the surface. No other moon in the solar system flies this close to its planet. Because it is so close, Mars's massive gravity whips it around at rocket speed. Phobos completes a full orbit in just 7 hours and 39 minutes. That means in a single Martian day, Phobos circles the planet 3 times. This creates a bizarre optical illusion. If you stood on Mars, Phobos would move faster than the planet spins. You would actually see it rise in the west and set in the east, completely backwards, 2 or 3 times a day. It orbits so tightly to the equator that if you stood at the north or south pole of Mars, you wouldn't even see Phobos at all. It would be hidden below the horizon. Even solar eclipses on Mars are weird.
NASA rovers have recorded them, and instead of a beautiful, dark circle, it just looks like a giant, fast-moving potato flying across the sun for a few short seconds.
If the big brother Phobos is falling to its death, what is happening to the little brother Deimos? Deimos sits much farther from Mars, about 14,000 miles, 23,000 kilometers away. Because it is so small and distant, if you stood on Mars, Deimos wouldn't even look like a moon. It would just look like a very bright star in the night sky. Deimos also looks much smoother than Phobos. It still gets hit by space rocks, but its weird gravity causes all the crash debris to float up and fall right back down. Today, Deimos is covered in a 300-foot thick blanket of fine powder. But here is the most tragic part. Unlike Phobos, Deimos is slowly running away. Just like Earth's moon, it is drifting further out into space. Millions of years from now, it will finally break free from Mars's gravity and be lost in the cold, dark universe forever as a lonely, stray asteroid. Right now, Phobos and Deimos look like dark, dead rocks. But when humans finally travel to Mars, these moons could become our greatest gold mines. Because their gravity is incredibly weak, landing a spacecraft and taking off again requires barely any fuel. Space agencies like NASA and SpaceX could easily use them as forward operating bases before ever stepping foot on the red planet. This gives us two massive advantages. First, it takes up to 20 minutes for a signal to travel from Earth to Mars. But if astronauts set up camp on Phobos or Deimos, they could control robots and drones on the Martian surface in real time, just like playing a video game. Second, scientists believe there might be ice hidden deep inside these moons. If we find it, we could mine that ice to create drinking water, breathable oxygen, and even rocket fuel. Someday, these strange, doomed moons might just become humanity's very first interplanetary gas stations.
To finally solve the mystery of where these strange moons came from, the entire world is looking to Japan. This year, in 2026, the Japanese space agency, JAXA, is launching a massive historic mission called MMX. It isn't just flying by. MMX is carrying a tiny, advanced rover named IDFIX. It will touch down on the dangerous, low-gravity surface of Phobos, scoop up alien dirt and rocks, and bring those samples safely back to Earth by 2031. Once scientists analyze that soil in our labs, we will finally know exactly how fear and terror were born. We might even unlock ancient secrets about the red planet that we never even imagined. And that is the tragic story of Phobos and Deimos, the two cursed moons of Mars. But our journey through the Moon series is just getting started. Next time, we are heading to Jupiter to explore a boiling moon covered in 400 active volcanoes, and we will dive into a hidden icy ocean where alien life might actually exist right now. Before you go, let me know in the comments, do you think Mars's moons are kidnapped asteroids or broken pieces of the planet itself? If you enjoyed this episode, hit that like button. I am Manjeet Singh, and you are watching BBS. Stay curious, stay scientific.